The big priority tonight is lamb protection. Twins are especially vulnerable. Protecting two youngsters, it's much harder than one.
Tonight we've got a two-pronged attack. We've got Jordan the Ginger Giant out with us again, and he's got his Redtail out, and it's going to be her last night of the season. Hopefully she'll put a couple in the bag, and then that's going to be the end of her season, so she's going to go into molt. And then what we're going to do is we're going to head off into the sheep fields, and we've been having a lot of problems here with foxes taking the lambs. We've shot 4 foxes over the last few nights, but unfortunately the lambs are still being taken. And quite interestingly, it's not just the very young lambs, the newborns, that are being taken. Last night we had 2 lambs taken that were 4 or 5 days old. So there's definitely something coming in there that's going to cause us problems throughout the lambing season.
Before Roy gets foxy, we're heading off into the arable side of the farm to give Jordan's Redtail some exercise.
She's an American red-tailed buzzard. I've had her for about 3 years now. It's her 3rd season, and it's the first year we've been lamping with her. And she's taken to it really well, and she's been. Hopefully, we're going to see tonight how she's doing. But this is her last time out this season, so see what we can do.
This is Jordan's first bird, and she's done really well for him, but it's been a while since she's been on the Aga Cat, and it might be putting her off her stride, or rather her wing beat. The first flight shows she's not yet got the blood pumping.
No, that was a shame with that one. We were well within catching distance of that one, but unfortunately the rabbit stopped rather than running, and it just ducked down in the crop. And so it went completely out of sight, so she lost sight of it, and obviously she can't pursue it if there's no light on it.
To remove the Argo from the equation, bunny number 2 is walked up. This time she gets close, but the talons don't connect.
But that was a bit better. I think she's not been overly happy going around on the Argo, so Jordan jumped out on that one. We found a rabbit in a seat, or squatted in the field there. He just jumped out, walked it up, and she had a nice little flight on that one, so hopefully she's waking up a little bit. Fingers crossed we'll get a few good flights and hopefully end on a kill.
Roy suggests one last blast, as she's clearly off form. This time she strikes hard and the rabbit's in the bag.
He's just opening it up, just let her have a little bit of blood, because obviously she's been a little bit unsure getting going. So, you know, this time of year birds are starting to, or a lot of birds are already in breeding condition. We're not far off having eggs, so where she's now a mature bird, they do start feeling the hormones as well. So, this time of year they can be a little bit up and down as to how they fly.
Next, Roy turns his attention to the foxes, but it's really hard going. Maybe they're so full on lamb there's no need for a cheap meal courtesy of Mr. Lupton.
This is obviously what the fox was sitting looking at and waiting for. These 2 have been born tonight. They're still very, very weak on their feet. You can see they're just struggling up there. They are the cutest things, aren't they? But as I say, the fox was just sitting at the back there, probably just waiting to come in. So these are only a few hours old, I would have said, by looking at those. But unfortunately, at the moment, they are prime on the fox's menu.
They are being extremely shy, staying deep in cover, and the light has them running. Nothing ventures into the open field, and there appears to be as many badgers as there are foxes, which gets Roy pondering.
Tonight we have seen so many badgers patrolling the fields. We've probably seen upwards of a dozen badgers out there, and it does leave me wondering, or maybe suspecting that the badgers are slightly more responsible for taking some of the lambs than I'd given them credit for before. But I think we've definitely taken the cream off the top of the foxes. But unfortunately, in today's countryside, there's not a lot we can do about the badgers.
Thankfully, no lambs were taken this evening, but more have been taken since in daylight and at night, so they may be shy, but Roy needs to work all his magic to keep the casualties to a minimum.